UI itself is currently you can see that registration and deselect are unable to be clicked right now. So if I go ahead and load a sample directory, first of all, you can see that the directory selected has been updated. And within the code itself, there's basically just a field named dir name or directory name. And that's what I will be passing into each of the functions to work off of. And Danny's functions themselves already have some type of way to, if given a directory, navigate through each of the files and do the work required. So once that's done, then registration and deselect are available to be clicked again. Let me just show that deselect does work. So now the directory selected has been disabled or has been cleared out, and registration and deselect are disabled again. And there's also one more thing in terms of things that need to happen just in case is if you were to enter capture data and you don't have a directory selected, we have a separate dialog which allows you to enter in, let's say, a directory name path like desktop my documents or something like that. And if you don't want to enter in from there, you could also enter it in from the same file selector that is native to your system. So basically, I would be taking the directory name out of this and then plugging that back into the function if no directory name is already selected.
So here you don't need to really type the directory name. You can also select it. Oh, okay.
I allowed the option just in case. But you know, if the finder doesn't work in either, if the finder doesn't work, then loading directory viewing point cloud and viewing mesh would already be not available for you anyway. You don't think actually really quickly, you don't think being able to enter a directory name would be a important feature? Just being able to select from a directory?
I think you should leave it that way. I hate it when I have to select, like if I have to go really far on Linux, one of the file explorers doesn't let you type it, and it drives me crazy because some stuff you can just type faster if it's long. That's my opinion, though.
Yep. But otherwise, that's the current functionality of the system. You can see that the windows actually hide out and re-show once they're done in terms of actually using them up. So all I have to do is get it to where it waits until the action is done, and then re-enables itself once the action is done. So I think that's it in terms of what I wanted to show for at least the UI aspect. Like I was saying before, I think it's just a matter of being able to find something that allows us to wait until the actual function is done in Danny's code, and then re-show this after that's done. In order for us to actually be able to finish up. But I don't think it should be too hard once I can figure out how to get some type of relevant exit out of the subsequent functions. I have actually tested it where if we just do something like a while loop and just wait for something like an exit code, it is actually capable of waiting until the action is done and then re-enabling the UI again. I just don't think that's a good solution, waiting on exit codes.
The threading is probably the best way to do it, and that's good anyway, because that's something that's worth learning and stuff that you'd have to deal with. anyway. So,
is there anything I should know about, like, is there any socketing I have to do with that?
You shouldn't. There's a low level thread class in Python, and then there's a higher level one that makes it easier. You'll use the higher level one, unless Qt has its own. I'm trying to think.
I think it does. Supposedly it does.
It probably should. I really can't remember.
It's something called like signals and slots in theirs. Mind you, I literally just did a section about socketing in systems programming, so I'm kind of fresh on the topic, but.
Well, you're definitely not going to have to do it like you would in C, where you like having to keep track and passing stuff back and forth between the threads. You definitely won't have to do that. It's going to be much simpler.
Okay, good. I was worried it was going to be like that, but yeah, if that's the case, I don't think the rest of trying to get that working should be too hard.
No, you got it. No problem. Okay. Yeah, it's.
I also
it's really good.
To really quickly show off too. So with the UI, there's actually a separation of the view right over here, which is this right over here, the main menu class. It's creating all of the different buttons and layout options, which is allowing me to, if I just show this really quickly. Come on. Oh, I have it open on a separate window, which is allowing me to actually resize the window as I need. Oh, come on. I need to change that. And then while I have my view layer here, I have both sort of a mixed controller and model within this, I want to say runner class, but essentially this contains all the functionality of all the buttons. And essentially just calls the previous layout as a new object. I would just say generally too, if the other team is making a UI object, I would recommend doing a separation of minimum the view and the controller, just because it keeps the code a little bit neater to look at too. Ken, do you have anything to say about separation of view and controller?
Well, I mean, that's standard practice in everything, but also just as this, just as like a convenience thing, whenever you put your stuff in the interface code, every time you regenerate the interface, if you modify it, it wipes all your code and you have to add it back. Yep. So that's another reason too.
So if I wanted to just edit just one of the buttons, I can actually add it just onto the layout, and I could still preserve all of the code that runs the UI. I think that's it for Team 1's progress right now. Does anybody else in the group have anything else to share? In Team 1?
I've been pretty busy, but I've been kind of trying to just look at trying to get like higher resolution images, I think is possible. You just have to sacrifice the frame rate, but I think that'd be cool to do. But yeah, I've been trying to figure a way to do that, I guess. Somewhat unsuccessfully so far, but I think there's a way. Yeah. So I'll keep at it.
I was gonna say, even at this point, even if you do not get to it, the minimum functionality that you have for us is already pretty good.
Yeah, it's just like a worst case. It'd be cool to add in last minute.
Right.
Other than that, we're just kind of trying to, tie it all together at this point.
You have the functions ready. I just need to figure it out. I'm sorry.
We'll get it.
I'm working on a big
change what I wrote too if we need to do that to fit it better too.
Oh yeah. But
Sorry,
I don't want to rely on an exit code. Just because.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't want a constantly refreshing event loop, just stuck on a while loop.
There's no, true, especially with everything else we have going on.
Right. Yeah, but I should be able to figure it out. And I have time after Friday.
Yeah, we'll make it work, I'm sure.
Daniel, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, I remember last time when you showed your work, there's some part is missing, like the floor and also part of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there any update on that?
So so since then I tried to take a couple other scans, and I got one of my bedroom that turned out a little better than the first one without like my bed in the corner, and I was able to